Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel, and obviously welcome to the Liverpool review. Obviously, Spurs out of the EFL Cup, away to Liverpool tonight, and in what I can only sum up as it felt predictable. It felt like a predictable loss in a weird way, and never at once did we look comfortable. Never at once did I don't think anyone really was going to come into this thinking, do you know what? I felt like we would do this, we would do this, we would do this. I don't think anyone's surprised by it. I don't think anyone should be surprised by it either, if I'm honest. Looking at this game for me, there is some alarming takeaways. And actually, do you know what? There's a few things I want to say about some of the players in the squad. There's a couple of I think there's two positives out of this whole game, which you'll see what I mean. You'll probably think, look at me going, how is there two positives? I'll tell you. There are two. Yeah, there is two. You'll be surprised, but when I say them, you'll go, okay, you were right. There is two. Look, obviously we survived the first bit of the first half. I don't exactly know what minute they scored. I don't really care either. They look like, I mean, for a team that has to play 3 times a week like us, and yes, okay, they are a hell of a lot healthier than our players in terms of, look at this team. I know Kanate's had a bit of an injury, but you had Quansah and Gomez fit at the time. Obviously, I know Trent's missed one game, which is obviously this game. Sabosla, I think, had a bit of an illness, I think, at one point. But in reality, I don't really remember them missing anyone else through like an injury. Not for at least like a month or 2 months. Kanate, maybe, I think, is the only one. They looked fresh. And they were a level above us today. Actually, not even a level. I'm not even going to do our players. I'm not even going to say that because I think that does our players too much of a justice. They might have been 2 or 3 levels above us today. And do you know what? In a weird way, it felt like we were playing against 12 men. They always seem to have a man free. They always seem to have a man that they could play the ball into. And we were always a yard off. And I think, yes, okay, you could be a bit tired and you could have some fatigue in that. I get it. Players like Bentancur, for me, shouldn't be as leggy as he has been since returning from injury. He's barely played any football compared to like your Basumas and players like that. And he looks more tired. I seem to say it literally once a week. He looks more tired than the rest of our midfielders, and he's played a hell of a lot less football. So something isn't right there. I don't get it. I thought defensively, the first goal, we have 2 guys marking Salah, but neither of them try and stop him crossing the ball. First one there, now problem. People saying, Danso should have cleared it. Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, Archie Gray not marking the back post. If we're going to call Pedro Porro out for it, we call Archie Gray out for it. That's only fair. We'll be consistent. Not marking the back post. I mean, Gakpo's 5 or 6 yards free. What do you expect? The guy's in banging form. He's scored a lot of belter goals. If he didn't score that, I'd be shocked. And the lead up to the goal is, sloppy passes. Sloppy passes. Simple as that. Sloppy passes is the best way to sum that up. The second goal, not long after half-time, Davies plays a crap ball and then absolutely compels that mistake and doubles down on it by chasing out to Salah, even though Spencer's out there, and Spencer had no issues with him so far that game. Why are you running out there? Just go and sit in your position. But instead, he loses his head. He chases towards the fullback, thinking, I'm still playing left back. And it's like, no, lad, you're playing centre half. And obviously, ball goes round the corner. Nunes gets a touch before Kinski gets there. It's penalty. It's penalty. I saw people going, I think Kinski got a touch there. He didn't even complain, Kinski. Look at his reaction. I don't even think nobody said that wasn't a penalty, right? So is what it is. Third goal. Third goal, it's just we're all over the place. No defensive structure because if we lose the ball, we seem to all just sort of lose our minds. And lo and behold, they score again. So look, reality. I'm not going to talk much more about the game as a whole in terms of statistics or tactically. We weren't at it. The players aren't at it. There's not enough options on the bench. Um, let's talk about though we need to probably have some real conversations about this, and we've had this conversation probably 2 or 3 times this season. We're gonna have to have them again. Archie Gray's a midfielder. He shouldn't still be having to play defense. I didn't get moving Spence to right wing, by the way. Didn't get that. He was doing pretty well with Salah out on the wing. We then switch it all around. I'd have just put. I keep Kulusevski on the right wing, play Archie Gray in the midfield. What else worse was going to happen? The other midfielders were absolutely stinking up the gaff. The other midfielders look scared. I'm going to be honest. They look scared. Basuma looks scared. Looks scared. Bentancur looks scared. People slagging off Richie and Kulu, and it's like, the problem is they're getting the ball, and then they're looking around going, well, the next closest Spurs player is about 20 yards away from me, and I'm surrounded by 3 Liverpool players. There isn't anything those 2 lads could have done in the first half. The fact that Kulu even won like a corner, it was like, oh, he's done well there. I don't know how he's done it, but he's done well there. It wasn't good. The midfield looked tired. It looked like as soon as they got the ball, it was like, just get the ball away from me. I don't want to be near this thing. I could tell. You were more scared of the ball than people were scared of clowns. I mean, I think I was closer to scoring a goal for Spurs today than 10 of those players starting in the starting 11. I know Son hit the post or bar, whatever. I don't care. You could say he's the closest, but I was closer than the rest of the starting 11. I'm not in Liverpool. I'm in a different city. Hell, I could be in Australia and I'd still be closer to scoring than those guys. Kelleher had the easiest game of his life. He collected a clean sheet bonus today and did no work for it. That is the perfect job. He had the perfect job today. But the real issue is obviously, look, so many injuries. You look on the bench, look on ours, look at theirs. But that's also a club who, I mean, even Liverpool fans aren't always thrilled about the level of investment and effort that goes in from FSG. But I mean, you look on the bench, it's like, 50 odd million pound Jota, 40 odd million McAllister, all these things come into it. It's just bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. But let's be real. I think Basuma's done in the summer. I think he's gone. I'm going to be real. I think Bentancur's done as well in the summer. I think they both should be gone. I think sell them both, cash in, get some money. I would say, look, Sarr was awful today. He is a lot younger, and I feel like he can improve a bit more. So I'm like, I'll give him another season. But those two, I think, done. I'm done with them now. I love Rodrigo Bentancur. I think on his day, he's brilliant. But his day, if people are slagging off Basuma for inconsistencies, you need to start calling out Bentancur's as well. And he's missed a lot of time. And I get that. But if people are going to call out other players who get injured frequently, they need to call out Bentancur as well. Let's be fair on this. I think he's a brilliant player, but he picks up injuries. He's rash. He's not a 6. He's an 8, but I don't think he gives you enough creativity, going forward. And he look, I was like, this game is his game. He needs to show some of that fighting spirit that I've seen so often. I was like, I was thinking maybe that Uruguayan fighting spirit kicks in, and he's there. Nunez has gone down injured. He goes over to check on him, and he's chucking it up with Salah, and I'm like, oh, these guys aren't serious. These guys aren't serious. They're out there for a stroll around, and all this festers from the top. You think of all the managers that have been here who are serial winners, gone on to win stuff. And, Conte's first season, we'll see what he does with Napoli, but he's in a good position at least, right? Nuno's got Forest flying. Mourinho's won a European trophy in Italy. I mean, AVB's running a bloody club at the moment. He's probably going to run that club better than Daniel Levy's going to run a club. So. But look, I think sell those two midfielders. Son was not at the races today, and I would normally give it the benefit of doubt if like the last 30 minutes from him wasn't good, because I'd go, well, maybe that's fatigue. But from minute one, not at the races. Not at the races, Sonny today. Um, and look, I still think he has something to offer if he's not having to play 3 games a week. I get that. But I think next year could be his last year. Let's be real. Richie, injured again. He's been back a handful of games. It's probably not helped that he's had to be run into the ground because we've got no one else fit. And it took us 4.5, nearly. It took us over. Took us what, 5 weeks to get an attacker in. 5 weeks get an attacker in. It's just. I mean, it's neglect. You are neglecting your club, and that's what Daniel Levy did today, and that's why we are struggling so much. I felt for Danso today. I really did feel for him. It's of all the games to have to play, it's away at Liverpool. That is a brutal start to your Spurs career. So I'm not gonna say he's crap, and I'm not gonna be one of those Spurs fans. I think maybe I'm a little bit more patient with players when they've just joined our club, but I also want to see Vicario back in goal. I mean, today Kinski's punching the ball when no one's standing around him. He's just up there punching the ball. It's like you punched the ball for a corner, lad. There was no one around you. Nobody. You're punching the ball. I just, what on earth? Like, what on earth? Um, I thought Davies was awful today. I'll be real. I thought first half an hour, I was like, Davies is up for it. A lot of good blocks, a lot of good clearances. And then decided that he never tried to pass the ball forwards. I mean, the amount of times we had success with, like, recently of playing the ball over the top and players running onto it. We did none of that today. I was like, well, surely you would go long a few times to see if you can do it. Because sure as hell, playing out from the back ain't doing anything. But look, I mean, people look. Davies had a good run of games, and yes, it's a one-off game, but in those big games, Davies isn't good enough. He isn't. I'm sorry to say. I'm really sorry to say, and we need to stop. I think as a football club, we need to stop being so sentimental at times with certain players and be a bit more sort of on it. I mean, look, like Bentancur's my favorite midfielder. Just he's not it anymore, in my opinion. We haven't seen Bentancur good since what, 2022, 2021. I think cash in this summer. Cash in. He's in his late 20s as well. He's probably at his best peak right this second, and he's only going to get worse from now on as you get older, obviously. I would sell him, get some money. I'd sell Basuma, who's I think a year older. I would sell both of those. And I'd bring in a couple of like 24, 25-year-olds. Because I think, look, today, Madison would have been really good for us today, Madison, because he would have won fouls in the midfield. But, you got Madison, you got Bergval, you got Gray. I'll give you Sarr as a rotational option at the moment. After that, what have you got in the midfield? Oh, I've got Kulusevski. Yeah, but you can't play Madison and Kulusevski in the same midfield. I'm having Kulusevski featured as a right winger. Right, let's talk about a couple of positives though. There is a couple of positives from this game. Number one is Jed Spence. Defensively sound. Dealt with Salah quite well. I know we doubled up a little bit on Salah, but dealt out that situation really well. I mean, when he played right wing, he actually attacked players and ran past players. Didn't see that from anyone else on the pitch today. I don't know if any other player beat a man in a dribble. He was the only one that did. And Tell linked up play better than Richie did. You could see it was one touch fiery pass, and you're like, you've been playing at a club that plays really high possession based football, like 70+%, sometimes 80%. And it's like one touch, far in speed, ball goes out there. You know, it's like boom, ball into tail, boom, out to Kimmich, to Elise, they're attacking. You know what I mean? You could tell that that's a guy who has been trained and worked under that, and obviously he's still new. So let's judge Tell like in 6 to 8 weeks' time. That's my attitude. You always give a player a bit of a runway. Well, guess what, Tell? You're starting at the weekend. I can promise you that, lad, because Richie's not fit. He's injured. So Tell starting at the weekend. His link-up play was good. Energy good. He was the only one that wanted to press. He was literally telling all the players, he was like, get up with me. And you'd get some players go, oh, but if we sit on the 18-yard box, we might be able to defend. It's like, oh, God, we're still entrenched with Conte, Mourinho ball. Right, they're a good team with the ball, are we? We're sitting all the way back here. And it's like every time Liverpool would ping a pass around, it was like we just dropped an extra yard. Every pass they made, it was drop an extra yard. And it's like, do you know what I mean? It tells like, look, but we need to get in the game. We're actually losing now. We need to get in there. We need to go this way and press this way. And Spurs went, yeah, I don't know about that. So they didn't press forward and they didn't defend backwards. They just went, screw it. We're going to do neither of those things and let Liverpool score some more goals, which they did. So I hope Tell is the man that starts at the weekend. I liked what I saw from him and Spence. I thought everyone else was. And the thing is, I'm not going to crucify like players like Bergval coming off the bench, if you know what I mean. But and Porro as well. I'm not going to crucify both of those guys. But the rest, and Danso won't kill because it's his debut. It's only fair. But the rest of the players stunk up the gaff. You know, and look, that includes your Archie Grays, by the way. And I love him. He's going to be a rock star. That includes Ben Davies, Kinski, Bentancur, Basuma, Sarr. Stunk up the gaff. Stunk up the gaff. Now, look, we had a situation of injuries. I get that. I mean, it took Sam Matterface, what? 60? I actually tweeted it. Hang on. He did something that absolutely irked the hell out of me. Where is it? It's not this one. Bear with me. Bear with me. I tweeted it so I can give you an idea. Right, I'm on my Twitter page. Here we go. 63 minutes in, and now they mention us missing 11 players. I've heard Liverpool missing Trent even before hour 11, the state of this commentary. And it's right. It's right. You wouldn't believe Spurs had any players missing by the amount they talked about one player missing for Liverpool. I mean, I was like, it's a £45 million left winger. The striker's a £75 million player. Salah was bought for good money. So Bosley was 65 million. I was like, okay, I think I'm missing a little bit of something here. You know, the centre half 75 million. He'd be our record signing, and I don't even think he's Liverpool's record signing. So I was like, okay, all right. Well, I mean, Sam Matterface is genuinely just the worst commentator in the world. But missing 11 players, yeah, obviously that's not going to be helpful. It's not going to be good. But you could show some more fight. That's what I would say about that. And I'm not going to tell any one of them, you know, you need to be doing X, Y, and Z. They're probably dead on their feet after half an hour. But you could show some fight. I mean, it was a matter of times they would just start running through our midfield. It's like, pull one down, pick up a booking, pull one down. You know, he is a closet gooner. He's an awful commentator. You know, but it's awful today. It's an awful performance. I mean, at one point, trending on Twitter was "Please Tottenham." That's just humbling. Don't forget, 16th of February, the Manchester United at home game. There is a protest. I retweeted it on Twitter. I put it in the Discord as well. So if you are around, if you can go, make sure you go. Because signing Tell and Danso 3 days before the end of the window together is still a crap window. Neglect. He didn't give a damn about this window. It was only because we started to actually cause a stir. He went, oh crap, I might have to actually get someone in. So he bought a guy on loan with an option, and an obligation to buy, so he defers the payment 6 months. He spent 12.5 million this window. 8th highest revenue in the world, 12.5 million in a window. But look, the 16th karate, 16th of February. It's the Man United at home game. So that's that. So yeah, make sure you're aware of that. Away to Florida. That sounds nice, Thomas. It's I mean, the other thing is a lot of these issues obviously stem from obviously the board, the stem for the higher ups. You've got an owner who, when asked about what achievements he's most proud of as a Spurs chairman, didn't mention winning a trophy. You know what I mean? Doesn't I mean, that's just red flag. That's just a huge red flag. It's the first thing it should be on everyone's list. Winning that trophy. You don't want anything else, but winning that trophy should be the first thing on everyone's list. Nothing else should even be remotely close. Didn't put it on his list. It shows he doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care. All he cares about is top 4 or getting into the Champions League however way possible, because that is where the money sits. From revenue, from the Champions League and UEFA, from advertising, because you can charge more on your advertisers, from obviously the games itself. You get through the knockouts, brilliant, huge money. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. So, it like Karate says, until Levy goes, it'll be the same SH1T. And it will be. It will be, unfortunately. People go, it's Ange. It's like, okay, well, what did Conte do in the cup competitions? There you go. That'll answer if you have an issue with Ange today, that'll answer your issues. You might say, actually, I've got as many issues with Ange now. I might still have a few, but not as many. He sacked Mourinho for a cup final because he thought, well, I want to get rid of him, but it's going to cost me a hell of a lot more if he wins it. Like, you know what I mean? Mourinho and Conte serial winners. I mean, AVB won a treble before he came to England. It's all those things that come into this, and it's all those reasons as to nothing will change until he changes, unfortunately. So it's the hope that kills you, and it's the hope that drives you on, unfortunately. And you live with that hope. You continue thinking that hope, it'll change. It'll all change. It'll all change. It won't. Oh, I don't want to hear Jamie Carragher talking about Spurs. The guy's an absolute donut. Go spit at some people. You know what I mean? I can't stand Jamie Carragher. When they ever won a big game, well, we just slapped Man City 4-0 a couple of months ago, mate. Do you not consider beating Manchester United in the cup a big game? I guess not. I guess it doesn't fit agendas. The guy's an idiot. I'll flat out set myself. The guy's an idiot. They won't be going anywhere unless you have 1 billion. 1 billion, Phil. 1 billion. The guy's going to be charging at least double that, if not triple, if not maybe even quadruple that, Phil. And that's with also him going, the debt's not our problem as well, by the way. The debt's your problem. You're really gonna need someone that's gonna spend about 4.5 to 5 bill. That's my thinking, at least. I know you let Levy's door, but Ange's not good enough either. Both things can be true. I can tell you that if you think it's Ange's fault, that's fine. If you think it's more his fault than Levy's, I think then there might be an issue at your front door, my friend, unfortunately. Think of all the serial proven winners as managers. I mean, people twerked about Poch. And I love Poch. I love that era. We didn't win anything. And he had a better squad than we have right now. Didn't win anything. The teams around us at that time weren't as good. Didn't win anything. He stuffed AVB by selling Bale under his nose. He stuffed Harry Redknapp by not actually supplying him with stuff that he needs. He stuffed Martin Yole, we know that. He stuffed Conte was like, I want Skriniar. He's long lay on loan. He stuffed Mourinho. I mean, Mourinho wanted a Skriniar. Mourinho wanted Perisic. Mourinho wanted so many different players, got none of them. Got none of them, you know. I mean, by the way, you're not getting any other manager in right now who's good. You're not getting any manager actually in full stop who's good right now. If I was a manager, I would go nowhere near this Spurs job. It's what Chelsea used to be all those years ago, but with Chelsea, you got given a bigger wage. You'd have a season where you win something and then you get sacked. So at least you're getting sacked off the fact that you won something the previous season. This is the same poison chalice, but the higher ups don't care about winning. At least Abramovich was like, man, I'm getting rid of you because I want to win something. Like, we won the double last year. I'm getting rid of you now. Levy will go, so if I get rid of him in like 3 weeks, what's the release clause? Oh, it drops 3 million. Cool. Don't care what happens for the next 3 weeks. He's gone after that. That'll save us some money. That's all he cares about. Shane McMahon, theme tune. Money, 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 money. Yeah, we can't compete with Liverpool. Not at all. A one-off game, maybe, but other than that, no. But look, let's just see. Anyway, I'm going to go watch some Netflix and chill out because Spurs, I won't let them ruin my evening. I'm going to go watch some Netflix. I think I'll go watch some Archer. Something like nice casual vibes, a little bit of animated, nice vibes. That's what I'm going to watch. All right. Go and enjoy the rest of your evenings, everyone. Don't let Spurs ruin it. And just remember, the sun will hopefully will shine tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Speak to you then. Peace.